I'm the rap game financial advisor. Dropping beats that'll make you go higher. I got an 808 with metal undertones. Gonna school you about crypto, make you take loans. Stacking stacks, yeah, that's the goal. Investing in crypto, watching all unfold. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and more. I'm diversifying portfolios like never before. Cryptocurrency got the game in a frenzy. Financial literacy, that's the key to play. I'm spitting knowledge, making moves that count. Turning stacks into millions, no doubt.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Raiden Arrow, and we are back at it again with another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. And we're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about the portfolio. You're going to get some updates. Most importantly, we're going to talk about, in this episode, establishing a Bitcoin standard and what that entails for my personal strategy. But first, we got to give a shout out to the bag chasers. That is the bag chasers of Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com. I am a member of that Discord. If you join the Patreon, you get access to the Discord. There is a link for that down in the description. I don't get anything out of that, just, doing my part to give back to the community that I'm a part of. Also, shout out to the family over at Circa 84. If you're ready to dive into the next level, get into the weeds, get in depth over there, we go a little bit deeper than the YouTube videos. We get direct questions answered. I am the moderator for the crypto channel over there. So if you've got some in-depth questions, that is one of the means by which you have access to me. There's a link down in the description for that as well. It's my personal referral link. Allergies, man. Also, last but not least, the sponsor of the show and platform, we got to give a shout out to Delta Investment Tracker app. Wonderful app. If you have not checked that out, it's great for tracking your portfolio. It does both crypto and your traditional portfolios. There is a link in the description for that. I get nothing for that link either. It just lets them know you found them by way of me. The sponsorship agreement that was originally worked out with them is that I get full access to the pro version of the app, so I get to use all the extra features and such, which is a great win for me. Now let's jump into it. I'm going to try and streamline this. We're going to get right into this because we're doing this. I don't get to eat I guess technically what I would call breakfast at this point until I get done. So we're going to be going at normal speed. We're just gonna truck along. Hopefully I don't look squirrel too much. First and foremost, we're going to talk about it. Bitcoin dominance at 50.7%. Ethereum dominance at 17.1%. That Bitcoin dominance has pulled down a little bit. It dropped 1% more or less. That money, that energy has to be going somewhere, folks. Something could be a brewing. We're just going to put it that way. Gas on Ethereum is at 6 Gwei. Low fees right now. It's a good time to make moves. Good time to make buys. This week has been pretty nominal on fees. One of the things that I did notice, just a little bit of alpha for you. A lot of people who get into the space use Uniswap by default. Uniswap had some really obnoxiously high fees. It's about $5-10 higher than using SushiSwap for a trade that I was trying to execute. And I don't know if it was because of the liquidity pool or what, but I went ahead and threw some trades in over on SushiSwap to get what I needed done and saved myself probably about, I'd say, somewhere between, $25 and $75. So just something to keep in mind. If the price is looking high on the exchange that you are trading on, if you are in the decentralized world, If it looks a little bit high based on what the gas fees are, and for those of you who are in the DeFi space, you should have some semblance of what that looks like. Try another DEX before you execute on your primary DEX, because Uniswap is my primary DEX. But if they're going to be taxing me, I will be making a switch. I will be looking at Sushi Swap. I always say you should have 3 to 4 DEXs that you can gauge just to see, to make sure you're not getting taxed on fees, because in the decentralized space, fees are a factor. They do affect your positioning. They affect the size of the buys you need to have to make those fees have a nominal sway on your position. Definitely something that you should be looking at. Moving on. The top 3 trending coins. Shout out to CoinGecko. On CoinGecko, MAGA Hat at number 1, Nemo Sum at number 2, Notcoin at number 3. Now we're going to move over to the next funnest part of the show. We're going to look at these top 5 gainers and losers. Now, one thing to consider on these top 5 gainers and losers is looking at the numbers. These look like retracements. We are moving sideways again. We're just, obviously some stuff has to go up, some stuff has to go down, but these almost look like retracements depending on the validity of the project in question. The numbers just are not that high. At number 1 on the gainers side, we have it ranked 569, Pixel, PIXL, with a gain of 50.3%. At number 2, at rank 786, we have HighChain, TOPIA, with a gain of 38.1%. At number 3, at rank 428, we have PayPay, PEI, with a gain of 33.9%. At number 4, we have at rank 669, Retardio, RETARDIO, with a gain of 27.7%. And last but not least, at number 5, we have Andy Blast at rank 893, ANDY, with a gain of 26.8% in the last 24 hours. Next, we are moving on to the losers. These look like healthy retracements to me, but they could be losers. It depends. At this rate, we don't even know what the bottom is, because we keep thinking we hit the bottom and then the floor drops out of the bottom and then we find a new bottom, and then it becomes buying the dip. But did you buy the dippity dip? And did you buy the dippity dippest dip? And then did you buy the bottom? That's the reason we don't try to time the market. We dollar cost average, and when the market's down, we get a little bit extra. At rank 978, jeez, dyslexia just got a hold of me and started punching me in the body there. School Hat Coin, SHC, with a loss of 37.5%. At number 2, we have at rank 276, Blocks, CDT, with a loss of 27.3%. At number 3, we have at rank 793, Ordiswap, ORDS, with a loss of 23.2%. At number 4, we have Block Assets at rank 794, BLOCK, with a loss of 16.8% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, we have at rank 723, Joe Bowden, BODN, with a loss of 15.1% in the last 24 hours. Now, let me get my screen set up here. Got to get some metrics off this, and then we're just going to keep moving right on along. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. So, moving on over, and we'll talk about what we were doing this week, what moves we made. Moving over, the portfolio in the last 24 hours is up 1.2%. Overall encapsulation since start of portfolio to date, we are down 3.5%. We are in the negative zone. This is when I buy hardest. I don't like it, but it's when I'm more motivated, and I get very, very motivated when we get to this point in the game, in the how do we say this, in the battle. When stuff gets retracing, Ray gets voracious, Ray gets hungry, Ray starts attacking. We're going to go ahead and do the top 10, and then we'll talk about what changes have been made in the portfolio. Obviously, skipping over Lido staked Ether and USDC. We're skipping over all stable coins because they do not do us any good in the grand scheme of things, because it doesn't help you guys know about positioning or any of that stuff, because those are usually in liquidity pool positions and they don't serve a purpose, because I'm not just sitting on the sideline with a bunch of dollars, unfortunately. At number 1, we've got Solana. At number 2, we have SOL. At number 2, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 3, we have Injective, INJ. At number 4, we have Osmosis, OSMO. At number 5, we have Thorwallet Dex, TGT. At number 6, we have Camelot Token, GRAIL. At number 7, we have Wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. At number 8, we have Celestia, TIA. At number 9, we have Arbitrum, ARB. And at number 10, pulling up the end of the top 10, we have Radium, RAY. Now, what moves did we make this week? We bought in on some more Osmosis. We bought in on some more Akash Network, AKT, because that is also sitting. And the reason we went with these is for me, if I don't know what to do, I just look to see what's doing horribly, what's getting beat the worst, what's getting pounded on. Pause. And I pick out of those positions. I always try to buy the deepest dips on coins that I'm long on. So the worst performing at the time, it allows me to draw down that dollar cost average. It brings the average down. Osmosis is getting beat on. AKT dropped into a position to where it is below my entry point. Like I said, I've said this multiple times. A lot of these coins are below my initial entry point right now, which is buys on the stuff that I'm long on. Another one that we bought in some more of, Superverse. We made some more buys on Superverse. Everybody knows how hype I was about Superverse in the initial pump. They are still doing work. They still are doing some things. It's a good GameFi play. Akash Network, another one. It's my AI play. Getting in a better position, drawing that average down a little bit. Definitely makes sense for me. Immutable X is another one that I bought in on, another GameFi play, another position that I'm very long on. We're waiting for our Synapse token to unlock, because we have a Frax pool, liquidity pool position that we're sitting on, that we're stuck in right now, that we're waiting for an unlock on, so that way we can get those tokens moved. And yeah, we're just kind of, we're in a holding pattern on that. Synthetics Network, that position's still looking good as far as what we're using it for, because we took the profits. We're running on house money on that, so we're not so worried about that. I also got my hands on some more Lido staked Ether with some of the cash flow that we're looking at right now. Definitely every time we do buys, I am adding to that position. And every time we get to 2.5 sitting in our hot wallet, we move it over to the cold storage wallet, where it will sit forever. Because obviously this year we are trying to get as much Ethereum as we can. I want that liquid staked. The reason I chose the liquid staking position is no matter what it gets, the position grows itself, which puts a little bit of income in that portfolio. All of our other positions have pretty much been met. We're still debating on if I'm going to add a new position this year to the retirement portfolio, because right now, as it sits, we are looking at a chain link position. Actually, the chain link position hasn't been hit, but we will be closing that position out this year. And right now, as far as my retirement portfolio, the ledger, I can take my wealth with me. Those positions are consisting of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a liquid staked position. So it's staked Ethereum and Chainlink. Outside of that, there's nothing else that sits in that ledger that matters. That's long term. Now that said, we are looking at. So those were the buys that we made this week. So now we can jump over into the news. But before we do that, I'm gonna wedge this into the middle. We're gonna make this section the Bitcoin standard section. So we're gonna talk about why, or we're gonna not. Well, actually, yeah, we're gonna talk about establishing a Bitcoin standard. Now, the reasoning behind the importance of establishing a Bitcoin standard. As I've been reading the Bitcoin standard, it's been dawning on me that a lot of people run on different standards of how they move their money. Now, the standard American is on a fiat standard, but realistically, most Americans, now that I've been thinking about it, are not on a fiat standard. They are on a debt standard. It is just straight debt. Most people are up to their eyeballs in debt at all times. The standard within their household is debt. And it's not necessarily debt used as a tool to attain wealth. It's debt used as a tool to exist. Your debt is counted as another income source for most of you. What that means. What does that mean, old Ray Bear? Actually, let me pull myself back up to the screen. We'll bring this down. What does that mean? That means that within your household, you spend every dollar that comes in, and then you spend on a credit card to subsidize the discrepancy in between the money that you have coming in and what you want to be able to do mixed with what you need to exist. So like your necessary expenditures coupled with the wants that you have. So buying new stuff before you have it. I got to get a new Gucci belt. I got to get rims. I got to upgrade my vehicle. I got to buy a new vehicle. I got to get this car payment so that the neighbors know I'm doing well. So I got this car. That's a debt standard, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, your household defers back to debt. And the only moves that you make are based on debt. So you'll keep running those credit cards down. Now you're working on the credit card balance. Now you're doing all sorts of other stuff. And it's not necessarily that you are even saving, because a lot of Americans, because I can only speak for the country that I'm in. I don't speak on other people's pockets. I can only speak for the country that I'm in. A lot of people don't have anything saved. So everything revolves around debt. Your existence revolves around debt. And so that's the standard within your household. I don't see that as being a good standard. I mean, you could look at the level 1 to attain wealth. What standard does Dave Ramsey put you on? Which a lot of people he's very popular. The Ramsey plan, you're putting cash in envelopes. You have a fiat standard. Now that's at least a standard. Like you're not negative at that point. So that's a base level standard. The issue with the fiat standard within your household, because Dave Ramsey tells you, pay cash for everything. Pay cash. Save up until you can afford it. You save up till you can just buy that house outright. You buy everything outright. I don't have debt. Buying everything outright. The issue with that is inflation. So now you're going broke slowly, because your buying power on those dollars that you're saving to buy cash for everything and pay cash for everything is dwindling away because inflation's going up rather quickly at this point. Now, what I'm doing with my household is I'm putting my household and my personal finance on a Bitcoin standard. And the reason I am choosing a Bitcoin standard is because if at the end of the day, everything that is going long for me, I'm having it in Bitcoin, is because a lot of people, a lot of countries, a lot of states, a lot of jurisdictions are also switching to that standard, whether people want to believe it or not. When Venezuela and these other countries that are moving off of the dollar standard that we currently have globally, when they're making those moves, you should take note. When you see governments buying up Bitcoin, you should take note. When you see Bitcoin being injected into the pensions, you should take note. And the reason I choose a Bitcoin standard over, say, a gold standard is because it is highly mobile. I do consider myself a digital native. And so in any advent that I have to vacate a location and move to another location, or I want to set up in another location, it is easily portable for me to take the vast majority of my wealth with me. Now, most of my wealth is in Bitcoin, is in the cryptocurrency space, Bitcoin being the largest holding in that portfolio. So setting up against that standard, for me, at the end of the day, once we get to because obviously growing up in America, I do know how to play the game here now. At least as it sits the way that it is right now in 2024, which using debt as a tool, 100%, like we leverage to get assets. We're using debt to buy Bitcoin. We're doing the MicroStrategy plan within my home, except for I don't get to raise money from anybody else. I gotta use the debt, my credit score, which is why it's important that you have a good credit score to get cheap money. Not as cheap as what MicroStrategy is getting, but it's cheap money for what your basic American person can get, especially right now. And we're using that to acquire assets to purchase cash flow, which is going to allow us to get Bitcoin. It's a little bit long-winded. We are clearing the debt first, but we're making some tweaks in that plan to where we can consistently get a trickle of Bitcoin going, because that is the biggest bang for the buck right now. But it's putting everything in that scape. Now, we will not be using or eating away at that those Bitcoin holdings that we're hoarding until they bring back leveraging against your Bitcoin. Why is that? Because I never want to give up the asset. I want to be able to take loans against it, like everybody, like I can with my house. Like that's what I'm looking to do. Oh, a little technical difficulties here. So that's what I'm looking at doing, and the reason is because it's going to be the best bang for the buck. It's going to be the best opportunity for growth that I see. It's the fastest horse, so that should be the standard for your finances until something better comes along. But in the meantime, we're using other tools. It's not like everything's sitting in Bitcoin. We are at a state to where we are looking at also being able to we're utilizing other tools. So we're building up cash flow. We're not completely out of the fiat system, but we want to be as far out of it as possible, because if anything goes wrong, we want that universal holding that is accepted the most places. You can go cash out Bitcoin basically anywhere on this planet at this point. Highly mobile, and it's going up in value. So like, we don't want inflation attacking our reserves. And Bitcoin has been destroying inflation. So that's the reason behind doing that. Now, should everybody do it? I don't know. It depends on your financial situation. I mean, it's just what I'm doing. It's the play that I'm making. And granted, you have months like June where people get to tell you that you're wrong and it's just a terrible idea. And look at what's going on. Look at the hits that you're taking. Look at the value of those portfolios, your portfolios across the board, because everything is in line with my thesis. Your portfolios across the board took a hit. And you're like, yeah. But when they go up, they are going to skyrocket up. That's my thesis. So you do have to take the hits to get those victories. Like you gotta take the dips to get the wins. All right, moving on. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna jump over to the crypto roundup, brought to you by Delta Investment Tracker app, powered by eToro. This link will be in the description for those of you who want to do the deep dive in here into what these mean. This segment of the show, I just do the quick hits. I give you the headline. I give you my take on it, if I have one, and we keep it moving. It's something interesting for us to ponder over, and you guys can give your thoughts down in the comments below about any part of the video, but I figured these are good conversation starters. Major developments for the week. This is June 17th through the 23rd. Yeah. So what do we got going on that week of June 17th through the 23rd? We have major developments for the week. We've got MicroStrategy buys $786 million in Bitcoin. Somebody's buying this dip. There always is. And, you know, I've got the same thesis. We're getting ready to do some shifting and some pivoting. We're getting ready to do some dips. I said I wasn't going to be dollar cost averaging through the bull run. And I think I'm going to set this up to where we're going to be indefinitely dollar cost averaging because it's going to be a part of my income strategy. We're just going to take some of the income that we're chipping away at, and we are going to just dedicate that to specifically buying Bitcoin. It's always going to be a Bitcoin drip going on from now on. Cosmos DAO, Osmosis, introduces a fee-free Bitcoin bridge. What? Oh, that's a fee-free Bitcoin bridge. That's a game changer. Yet another. Bitcoin bridges are like gold because once you get your Bitcoin, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do anything with it to get it converted over. That's going to be something interesting. I'm going to have to check out Cosmos and see what's going on because I am heavily dollar cost averaging and invested in the Cosmos ecosystem. Ronin Network unveils a permissionless ZK EVM. That could be very interesting. Ronin Network, that's a GameFi network pretty much. That was my introduction to it, and the reason that I got a Ronin wallet set up was for DeFi gaming. So awesome. That's going to be interesting. Standard Chartered opens Bitcoin and Ethereum trading desk. Matt, more adoption. And it's not just Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Take note, people. Take note. It's the reason Ethereum's number 2 on my long-term holdings. Fidelity seeds 4.7 million into an Ethereum ETF. This is going to be interesting, and this could be the spark of alt season, to be honest. Because Ethereum, there's only 10% of all Ethereum on exchanges and dwindling. Ethereum is going to potentially have a greater supply shock at this point than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, there really isn't any too much you can do with it. You can have it on an exchange to trade. You can tuck it away and hoard it just like gold bars and just, you know, hang out, live off the appreciation, very much like gold. But Ethereum, you can stake it. You can liquid stake it. So when you're holding Ethereum seemingly doing nothing, you can have it trickling up in the holding position in and of itself because of the liquid staking position. You get a little bit of APR on there, and there's not an incentive to really just kind of have it sitting around in Ethereum. Like if you're just holding regular Ethereum, that is kind of weird to me because like you're just missing out on appreciation and free money. Because you can liquid stake it, so you can still hold the liquid stake token and the value goes up. The holding position goes up. But as these ETFs have to purchase the underlying asset, the physical Ethereum, it's going to create a very interesting dynamic once we see how these perform. Fetch AI and IA-related tokens surge as NVIDIA peaks. Nice. That's good for the space. I'm not in Fetch AI. I went with Akash. But yeah, no, that's good. Uniswap's crypto game earns Uniswap's crypto game earns Emmy nominate. I'm going to have to look at that. I need to look into that. I know nothing about that, so I have no opinion on that one, but that's something to look at. Synthetics is live on Arbitrum. I have checked that out. The website's live. Looks pretty interesting. Very clean, just like the Ethereum version and the Osmosis version. But now it's on Arbitrum, which is cool. There's going to be some opportunities over there. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. If you are into the Synthetics ecosystem, you're into the Synthetics token, I would give Arbitrum a look. And yeah, so that's going to close us out for that. I think that's going to close us out for this episode. I'm going to get this bad boy going. I'm about to go make myself a super euro. I am starving. Tap in with me down in the comments. Let me know if you guys got value out of this. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share the video because we're not trying to get rich over here in the Wolfpack by ourselves. This information is put out there to help as many people make informed and educated decisions as possible. That said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, people. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and until the next time, peace.
Money moves, gotta hustle, gotta grind. In this game, no room for the blind. Crypto's the wave, the key to the grind. Transfer that wealth, it's time to climb. Blockchain buzzing, time to make a move. Invest in the future, can't afford to lose. Learn the game, gotta play it right. On the right side, we take it flight. Punch the clock, working hard day and night. Gotta stay focused, keep that mind tight. Crypto, wealth transfer, we want it all. Rise to the top, never hit a wall. Never hit